Here's a lovely, gentle and surprisingly simple song from Gordon Lightfoot. It's in the key of A, but like everybody else, I've got a capo on the 2nd fret, so I'm playing it as if in the key of G. None of the chord shapes are difficult, especially when you realise that the top string doesn't actually feature in this song, at least in the original picking, and I'm going to stick to the bottom 5 strings. Mostly, I've got picking on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings, and then my thumb is going to be on the 6th string or the 5th string, depending on the chord shape we're playing. But what all that really means is that the G chord that you're going to see, you don't need a note on the top string there. I'm going to stick to these bottom 5 strings, and the chord shapes you'll see on the screen reflect that. There are 3 bits more or less to the song. It's not really verse and chorus. It's kind of the first bit of the verse, another bit of the verse, and then another bit of the verse, and they kind of mix and match, and it's a slightly patchwork approach that he has as he goes through it. The picking pattern itself is maybe a bit of a challenge because it's slightly counterintuitive, but the picking pattern has an impact, as I say, on the chord shapes we play. So let's look at those shapes, bearing in mind we don't really need to use the top string. The intro is G, and I'm actually only going to use a finger on the 3rd fret of the bottom string there, and then I'm going to add a finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string for G add 9. So it's a bar of the G and then a bar of the G add 9 and back again. When we come to the picking in a moment, you'll see how that works. But for now, it's enough just to think about those. Those 2 chords, G and then this variation on the G add 9, happen a lot together in the song. My 3rd finger's on the bottom string and my 2nd finger's coming down onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. In fact, when we play the verse, we kick off with those 2 chords as well. If you could read my mind, love. Now I'm going to leave my 2nd finger there, and I'm going to bring my 1st finger down onto the 1st fret of the bottom string. What a tale my thoughts could tell. 2 bars of that. That's D minor 6 over F, or F sharp 11 or something. I'm going to call it D minor 6 over F. And then I get the same thing again. Just like an old-time movie, but a ghost from a wishing well. Okay? 2 fingers are all we need. Now we get into what I'm calling the 2nd part of the verse, maybe the B section. Again, our G and our G add 9. In a castle dark. This time it's a bar of C, or a fortress strong. Then there's a chord of D, and I've got a bass note on the bottom string here, so it's D over F sharp. With chains upon my, going to E minor, feet. And that section rounds off with a bar of C and a bar of G. You know that ghost is me. Okay, then we've got one more section, the C section if you like, which is just 4 bars. There's a C, now we'll never, then there's G over B, and I'm not using the top string here, but I am putting a finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And there's a chord here, you might see this written as A minor 7 sus4, which to me doesn't make any sense, it's A 7 sus4. Keeping that finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. As long as I'm a ghost, back to our D over F sharp, that you can't. And there's just a 2-bar instrumental here, which is our G and G add 9 at the end. Before the next verse. Next verse is exactly the same until it isn't at the end. But let's have those 3 sections together then. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie, about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark, up to C, or a fortress strong, D over F sharp, chains upon my feet, E minor to C. Do you know that ghost, back to G, is me? Now the 3rd section, and I will never be set free, as long as I'm a ghost that you can see. G to G, add 9, and that's the whole of the 1st verse. Now the 2nd verse is exactly the same, but maybe we should practice by playing it through. The last two bars, the G, G add 9, they're extended with our D minor 6 over F thing a couple of times. So really we go into an instrumental version of the first 8 bars of the verse at the end of the second verse. You'll see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sell. Then you reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail. You won't read that book again, because the ending's just too hard to take. G, G add 9, and our D minor 6 over F twice. As I say, it's the first 8 bars of the verse, really. Okay, so that's the first 2 verses done. So those are all the bits of the song. The rest of the song is those elements kind of in different orders, and we'll look at that together to see how that's structured. But now let's look at the picking pattern, and it's kind of a Travis picking pattern in that, for a G chord at least, we've got the thumb on the 6th string, but we've got these 2 picking fingers. First finger on the 3rd string, second finger on the 2nd string. And we're picking in 8ths, and it works like this. We play the 6th string with the thumb, second finger plays the 2nd string, first finger plays the 3rd string, and then the thumb comes up to the 4th string. Okay, so we're only fingering that bottom string, everything else is open. In terms of strings, it's 6, 2, 3, 4, which is kind of backwards from how you might expect it to be. Those 3 strings are normally played in order of pitch, but this is reversed. There we go. Then those 3 happen again, so we get 6, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and we finish, because we've got one more pick's worth to go, by picking the 3rd string. So it's 6, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, you just need to get that under your fingers. And in fact, when he combines that with the G and the G add 9, the only note that changes in the chord is that in the G we've got an open 3rd string, and now on the G add 9 we've got a finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, changing it from a G to an A. What he does is he switches to the new chord half a beat early. Remember, the last note of the pattern is that 3rd string, and he brings that difference note down at the end. Like that. He does that certainly at the opening of the verse. As we get into the 2nd and 3rd sections, there's a bit of strumming going. I mean, on the original studio recording, there's plenty of guitars, at least 2 or 3 guitars, but you can clearly see there's various live versions on YouTube where he's doing this. And as he gets into the in a castle dark, or a forest strong with chains, it gets into the strumming. But for the verse part, is doing that. Okay. Now, I don't even know if this is worth mentioning, but in the very beginning, the very first bar, he actually picks something different. He does that with the rolls coming the other way, the more conventional in order of pitch, if you like. He gets onto his G add 9 half a beat early, as usual, but then he reverts to his backward pattern. And we only hear it in the first bar. I don't know why he does it, whether it's deliberate or a fluff, we'll never know. But if I play you the intro and then get into the verse, as he played it, we get this. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well in a castle dark. And then we're off. So, intro, first verse with the little 2-bar tag, second verse with the longer extended 8-bar tag, which is kind of like the first 8 bars of the verse. And then we get more of the same, but in a kind of different order. We get the B section. So let me play you the very end of the interlude. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burned in the 3-way script. Enter number 2. Now here's the third section with its descending line. A movie queen to play the scene, bringing all the good things out in, this time, E minor, C and G for a bar each. Good things out in me, but for now, love, let's be real. And again, the third section, it's our 4 bars descending. Never thought I could act this way. Got to say that I just don't get it. And one more. I don't know where we went wrong. The feeling's gone and I just can't get it. And now we get our G and G add 9, G and G add 9, just like the intro. That takes us into the third verse, which is exactly the same as the first verse to begin with, same lyrics. And then we get thrown out at E minor into our extended chain of the third section repeating. So let's just go from the top of the third verse, and you'll see that I'm going to extend that as I just did. So, if you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie, about a ghost from a wishing well. Same as before. In a castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. E minor, C, G. But stories always end. Now the C. And if you read between the lines, you know that I'm just trying to wonder. And our E minor, C, G. Stem the feelings that you lack. C section again. I never thought I could feel this way. I got to say that I just don't get it. Once more. I don't know where we went wrong, but feeling's gone and I just can't get it. This is the ending now, the outro. Back on G, G add 9, 2 bars of our D over F thing, which is just like the first 4 bars of the verse, and we end on a bar of G. So let's go from that last C section. I don't know where we went wrong, but feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. And there's a slight slowing up there before we finish on a chord of G. All right, brilliant. Let's have a playthrough. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. What a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost that you can see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind of drugstore sell. When you reach the part, oh, where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail. You won't read that book again, because the ending's just too take. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script. Enter number 2, a movie queen to play the scene, bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real, never thought I could act this way. I've got to say that I just now get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet. But stories always end, and if you read between the lines, you know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. I never thought I could feel this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. And that's it.